TVC News Politics on Sunday. We apologize for starting a few minutes behind schedule. We are live from our studio here in Abuja, the federal capital. I am Femi Akonde. Several speculations and insinuations have emerged along with projected outcomes following the reported meeting between President Bola Tinubu and suspended Governor of Rivers State, Siminalayi Fubara. Can this meeting pave the way for peace in the politically troubled Rivers State, or has the state of emergency imposed by President Bola Tinubu yielded any results? However, Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, believes that peace requires sincere involvement from all critical stakeholders, including members of the National Assembly and indeed the State Assembly in Rivers State. But according to him, the declaration of emergency rule helped avert potential calamities. Meanwhile, former Niger Delta freedom fighter and chairman of Tantita Security Service Government Tompolo, popularly known as Tompolo, offers a different perspective on the crisis. In a recorded interview, he asserted that Governor Siminalayi Fubara will be reinstated soon, potentially cutting short the 6-month emergency rule. Let's hear him.
The duly elected governor of Rivers State is coming back. You know, I may likely have problem with my brother Paul, who you can refer to as my boy. The problem between Wike and Fubara is boy and oga. And there is no way. Our president is one person who has been protecting democracy. So there is no way he will truncate it. Maybe in another few days I will be leaving for Abuja. We are doing everything, including Mr. President and Wike. Fubara is coming back as the duly elected governor of Rivers State.
Government Tompolo there. Well, joining me on the program is a political analyst who has been consistent in her views and analysis of the situation in Rivers State. She is Obi Obiarukwe Undukwe of the Citizens Quest for Truth Initiative. Thank you for joining us on the program, ma'am. Yes, you listened to Government Ekpemopolo, aka Tompolo there, you know, declaring that Siminalayi Fubara will soon be reinstated. That means cutting short the 6-month emergency rule. Does he know something that we all don't know?
Everybody has their own, they're entitled to their own opinion, you know, and then like you said, it's also possible he knows some things that we may not know. But the truth is that I don't think that Fubara, the president had suspended his government because he's going to be, remain out of government forever. No. The emergency rule was for the first 6 months. And of course, if we achieve the purpose for that, shorter than the time, that's still fine. But beyond rhetorics, beyond what people think, I think there are real issues, whether you like it or not. On both sides, I'm sure a lot of lessons have been learned. And so the reconciliation process we are looking at is not something that is going to be like, a fast food kind of thing, because there were real issues, long before now. This thing started almost like two weeks, after the inauguration of the governor. But unfortunately, many people didn't know until after some months. So they are going to sit down. There are stakeholders, there are other people involved, both with on both sides of the divide, and those who are also, on their own, who are not taking any sides. So they'll definitely have to meet.
Are there people who have not taken sides?
And it's not just about the politics. Yeah. It's also about the state, the fate of the state, the economy of the state, and going forward. Because looking at the whole situation, whether you like it or not, it has also taken the state backwards. So they will need to sit down and then, come up with a strategic framework or something that was, workable.
Because, the minister of the FCT, gave some conditions for before peace can be achieved in the state. He said people from both sides will have to sit down, to still talk. But you said there are people, and it seems in this conflict, there's hardly anybody who is neutral. It's either you're on this side of the Fubara of Fubara's camp, or you're on the weakest side?
Well, when I refer to those who are neutral, it's not like people don't take side, but there are persons who have not been talking. They are also stakeholders. We are talking about even the professionals. We're talking about, well, because we're talking about the state, the economy of the state. So there are people, investors, who may not have also taken sides. So it's going to involve everyone. So like you said, Wike had said, I mean, it's not about two of us alone. You know, we have the lawmakers, you know, because emphasis has been on Fubara, just like Tompolo said. It's not only Fubara. We're talking about the deputy governor. We're also talking about the lawmakers, the whole assembly. Because a government cannot be complete without the legislature. So if you say Fubara is coming back, I mean, without these other persons, then that means it's just all about Fubara. So I think that's where Wike is actually coming from, that we need everybody, you know, to come and then let's know what the issues are and see how we can resolve them. He
has met with President Bola Tinubu. We've seen that and reported in the news. Some people say, well, an agreement was reached in that meeting. We do not know the details of that meeting because it happened behind closed doors. But what we know for a fact is that he has met with President Bola Tinubu. But how significant is this meeting, or was that meeting? And has there been any move by Fubara and his group, maybe to meet with Nyesom Wike, or maybe Nyesom Wike and his group to meet with Fubara to have this talk in the interest of Rivers State?
Well, the meeting with the president, like you said, we don't know the details. You know, some persons said, but I know that the report we got said there were concessions. Fubara was ready to make some concessions, which we don't know the details of the concessions. It was just between him and the president, maybe with one or two other stakeholders present. But what people do not know is that even before Fubara embarked on that journey to UK, he had met with Wike.
We are in Rivers
State? At Wike's residence in Abuja. Yeah, he met with Wike on the, I think that was on Good Friday, the day he had the media chat. You know, he met with Wike and they spoke. And the same thing Wike said in public was what he said from the information some of us gathered. You know, he also told him, it's not about me alone. You're going to bring some stakeholders, the ones on your side. I'm also going to bring the lawmakers and bring other stakeholders, you know, who, you know how we formed this thing. You know how we sat and decided that you'll be governor and this person will be speaker and all that. So we're going to bring everybody and they will talk. Of course, Fubara assented to that. And
so you're telling us authoritatively that Siminalayi Fubara, the suspended governor of Rivers State, has met with Nyesom Wike.
Yeah, it wasn't in the news because, well, I think he didn't want that press thing. And of course, Wike also allowed that. And then after the meeting, that same day, he left for the UK. So when the news and the pictures of his meeting with the president broke out, that was the one that actually was trending. This other one didn't trend because I think somehow they didn't want the press, you know, to be part of it. But we always have a way of, you know, getting our own information. I mean, there's nothing that is actually hidden, even if you hide it not for too long. And for those of us who have been preaching peace, have been here on several occasions and have been consistent about the fact that it's a political solution. You know, no amount of grandstanding will help anybody. You know, some person said, no, it's constitutional, people, they should go to court. The court spoke, the Supreme Court spoke, yet the problem continued until the president intervened. Like Tompolo said, you know, it was to just, Wike said, it was just to probably avert a worse situation. Okay. Maybe he would have been impeached and maybe he would have been long gone. So I think the president stepping in at that time was also good. So if they shorten the period of the emergency rule, better for everyone.
So if you see a likelihood that this emergency rule might be shortened, and you also said something that